Despite our geriatric cats' ages and various physical and mental ailments, we keep their bodies and minds moving daily. Foraging for their food is one of the ways that we do this several times a day. Sometimes it's spontaneous, other times it's planned, but we do keep things in a nice balance of a routine and schedule or spontaneity because cats do need schedule, they need that structure. But we do incorporate novel foraging opportunities as well. This video is one example. But overall, I always keep each of their individual cat's preferences and each cat's special needs in mind. So here we have two geriatric cats. This is their first novel gentle foraging activity in this area of the house. They are not new to this area of the house. It's some place that they're very familiar with. It's actually a garage. There are no vehicles parked in here, so there's no possibility of any kind of gas or contaminant or oil or anything toxic. So it's a very clean environment. These two cats get along very well, even when food is involved. They never show aggression towards each other, which is why they're able to do this activity together. Albert is a cat who suffers from arthritis, so this kind of gentle foraging is very good on his joints. Something to be aware of is the individual stress level with each animal during these gentle foraging sessions. They may seem really boring to us as if nothing's happening, but underneath it all, if you go back and watch videos and slow them down, you can see some stress signals from the animal. Bo tends to be a more high anxiety cat, so even novel experiences like this that are not loud, because it is something he's never done before, it can be a little stressful. So managing that stress is important as well. Giving them encouragement and redirection and building confidence is something you can do during this process too. So if you noticed, Bo smelled the food, he saw that food, but he refused the food. In a novel environment like this, a cat may be a little too intimidated to eat, which is why I'm pointing it out to him. The idea is not really to point out where the food is, it's to help them, encourage them to explore it and find it on their own. But a cat like Bo, who is actually very easily intimidated in new environments and sometimes around other cats, I want to make sure he feels confident. I'm trying to show him, hey, there's food here, you can eat it. So everything they're doing is very deliberate, very careful. That's the point of this process, is to explore every nook and cranny with all of their senses instead of just pointing out the food to them. All the food that we are using here is non-kibble based protein for cats. We are not using any kind of dry food anymore for any of the animals in our house, but specifically for our geriatric cats. We have been working with a feline nutritionist, which has been incredibly valuable and technically life-saving, especially for Albert. So older cats do require higher amounts of protein to maintain their protein reserves compared with younger cats. Also, as they age, they're going to absorb and metabolize protein less efficiently. So we feed high quality protein and animal source protein, not grain based protein. Now, all this is based on the feline nutritionist that we've been working with. So the daily caloric intake of our geriatric cats has to be increased to prevent any kind of progressive weight loss. as you can see with Albert, he's lost a lot of lean body mass, muscle mass. This happens with aging. So the energy requirements will abruptly and progressively increase in older cats around 10 to 12 years of age. So working with the senior cat's energy is really, really important. Their metabolism is affected by what's happening as they age. And so these are really important considerations that need to be aware of when we're focusing on any kind of food foraging plan.
What do you think?
These kind of gentle movements where he's foraging for food with his paw and his leg is actually beneficial for arthritis. He's stretching, he's able to work those muscles in a really gentle manner without being really exuberant. Now, what's happening here is Albert has spied something that Bo has over here, and so I'm offering Albert another choice. There are food items within these foraging materials, and I would like for him to check these out instead of intimidating Bo. He says, no, I would rather see what Bo has. So Bo gets pushed out of the way, and rather than keeping it as a stressful experience for Bo, I'm showing him, hey buddy, there's another food option here. Keep foraging, keep looking. So that's the idea. You want them to continue to make choices. We don't want to interrupt behavior or stop them from doing something. That can be very stressful. We just want to show them, hey, there's other choices you can make. Why don't you come this way or look over here? So it keeps everything positive and it lets the animal feel empowered and continue to make choices during their foraging session. So after the senior boys had their foraging session, our younger cat, who's very highly motivated, was able to come in. He could hear everything that was happening on the other side of the door the whole time, but he was not allowed to participate, mainly because he will shove Bo, the more timid cat, out of the way and eat his food. So when you do these foraging sessions, they need to be age appropriate and they need to be appropriately paired with cats who are going to not intimidate the other one and are going to allow everyone to forage on their own. Knox here has a cat who's always struggled with his weight, so he does not normally have free access to food like this. He has to work very hard for the calories that he receives for obvious reasons. So this is just an opportunity for him to participate at the end of it, to see what they've been looking at, to kind of smell where they've been. That's also important novel enrichment for him as well. But during this process, I'm also making sure that Albert, our cat that's more of a wood personality type, he can become agitated more easily. I'm making sure that Bo is not stressed, that he seems much more relaxed right now. I'm making sure everybody's getting along with the addition of the younger cat coming into the room. So we always want to make sure the stress levels are at a minimum, but that everyone feels safe and they're able to explore and feel confident. Another option that you have is changing the lighting. That's part of one of the enrichment categories in habitat. So you can mimic the lighting conditions indoors to mimic what the natural light is outdoors. So right now outside it is dusk, so the lighting inside this area is mimicking that the sun setting. So this time of day is when cats would actually be more naturally active and hunting for their food, because cats are crepuscular. So you can mimic that kind of lighting in your house when you're doing these foraging activities.